Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking the intense, excuse-destroying mindset found in David Goggins' book, Can't Hurt Me. We're going to break down his core lessons in a way that's simple, practical, and highly actionable. Whether you're trying to conquer a marathon, pass a massive exam, or just finally tackle that difficult personal project you've been putting off, think of this as your blueprint for building an absolutely unbreakable will. Let's dive right in. Okay, I want you to imagine something. Imagine needing to lose 106 pounds in just 3 months. That's exactly what David Goggins had to do just to meet the weight requirements to qualify for Navy SEAL training. Honestly, it sounds borderline superhuman, right? But it all started with a really harsh reality check. He went from being a nearly 300-pound pest exterminator making, maybe $1,000 a month to becoming an elite Navy SEAL, an Army Ranger, and an ultramarathon runner. The guy even set a Guinness World Record for pull-ups, over 4,000 of them in 17 hours. Just wild.
So, Section 1. A remarkable human transformation. From trauma to triumph.
The thing is, Goggins didn't start with lucky genetics. He didn't have a privileged background. He survived severe childhood abuse and crippling poverty. But he achieved the impossible by literally unlocking his mind and using his pain as fuel. And this leads us directly to what is arguably his most famous concept. Section 2. The 40% Rule. Unlocking the hidden 60%. Think about the exact moment you feel completely, utterly exhausted. Your brain is just screaming at you to quit, telling you you're entirely tapped out. But according to Goggins, when you hit that wall, you're actually only at 40% of your true maximum capacity. Yeah, 40%. You have a massive 60% of untapped potential just hiding in reserve. Now, you might be thinking, that's just motivational hype, but it's actually backed by sports science. Professor Tim Noakes proposed this thing called the central governor model. It basically shows that fatigue is often just an emotion generated by your brain. It acts like a speed governor on a car, limiting your output to protect you from discomfort long before your muscles actually fail. So what we call exhaustion, it's usually just a decision to give up. And you can test this out today. When your brain tells you that you can't possibly read another page or run another mile, try to override it with self-talk. Push just 5 to 10% further. If you usually do 10 reps at the gym, push for 11. By doing this over time, you safely reset your baseline and actually start tapping into that hidden 60%. It's a real game changer. Moving on to Section 3, the accountability mirror, radical honesty. So this is a physical exercise Goggins created when he was pretty much at rock bottom. Step 1, you stand in front of your bathroom mirror and strip away all your comforting lies. Step 2, you look at yourself, whether it's your failing career, your bad habits, whatever, and you tell yourself the brutal truth. And then Step 3, you write down exactly what you need to fix on sticky notes and attach them right to the glass. It's all about breaking massive dreams down into everyday micro goals. Let's face it, most of us kind of sugarcoat our failures to protect our egos, right? Well, the accountability mirror forces you to stop blaming your boss, your upbringing, or your bad luck. If you want to fix your life, you, and only you, are responsible for your own rescue. Every single day, that mirror is there holding you to your promises.
Which brings us to Section 4, building your cookie jar. Fuel for the dark moments.
Look, life is a fight, and you're eventually going to get knocked down. The cookie jar is how you get back up. It's basically a mental stockpile of your past victories. You fill this jar with every obstacle you've ever overcome. Getting out of bed when you were severely depressed, breaking a bad habit, finishing a grueling workout, or even just fixing a leaky faucet when you really wanted to quit. Those are all cookies. So when you're suffering, when you hit that 40% wall we talked about, you consciously reach into this mental jar. Recalling a past victory actually triggers real neurochemical confidence and momentum precisely when you want to quit. It reminds you of the undeniable fact that your track record for surviving bad days is currently 100%. You've been there before and you made it out. All right, Section 5, mental friction, not destruction, avoiding the trap. Now, we definitely need to address the elephant in the room here. Is all of this just toxic hustle culture? Well, there's a clear, massive difference between blindly destroying your body and strategically callousing your mind. Look, Goggins routinely ignored doctors, he ran on stress fractures, and he absolutely jeopardized his health. Replicating those specific physical actions, that's a fast track to burnout and injury. But his underlying principle of callousing the mind, that is incredibly healthy. What we want to do is translate his extreme physical suffering into everyday mental friction. To build calluses on your mind, you just need to intentionally expose yourself to a little discomfort daily. Stare at that blank page until the report is written. Sit in the uncomfortable silence during a tough negotiation. Keep trying to learn to code even when it completely frustrates you. Take a cold shower. Just do something you kind of hate every single day.
Ultimately, you've got to separate the raw motivation from the actual strategy. Treat Goggins as this fascinating case study in the extreme limits of human willpower. Use his aggressive, intense energy to get off the couch and shatter your own complacency. But use science, expert advice, and smart planning to actually map out your route. You really don't need to run until your toenails fall off to build an unbreakable will.
And finally, Section 6. Embracing the discomfort, the path to self-mastery.
Mental toughness isn't something you're just magically born with. It's a highly trainable skill. As you work through this process in week 1, just try to notice when your brain's governor tells you to quit. Then, by week 3, start pushing that 5 to 10% further. By month 3, leaning into that discomfort starts becoming a real habit. And by month 6, mental toughness is simply part of who you are.
Because here's the thing, motivation is totally fleeting. It comes and goes. As Goggins reminds us, true growth happens when you rely on discipline instead. You have to show up and bring your absolute best on the days you have exactly zero motivation to be there. So I want to leave you with a question to provoke your own transformation. What is your brain telling you that you can't do today? And what's the very first sticky note you're going to put on your accountability mirror tonight? It is time to embrace the discomfort and shatter that mental governor once and for all. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will see you next time.